Hello, welcome back for our next episode of Aliit by Beskar. I'm excited because it's going to be the obligatory beach episode because the party's been through some stuff and they need a little trip to the beach. So it's going to be good. I'm excited for it. Before we jump into everything, though, I'm going to say a few words about our sponsors and then let everybody introduce themselves. So sponsors, let me just get those links into chat, are Fundamental RPG. It's a simple D20 system that you can use for really any type of game that you would like to run. It's not tied to a genre, so you can use it for sci-fi or high fantasy or anything in between those two. We actually do quite a bit of that on the channel. If you would like to pick up the physical version, you can do that at Amazon. If you prefer PDFs, you can pick those up at coffee.com/raven, like it's spelled at the bottom of the screen. Yeah, go check it out. It's really good. Also, Die Hard Dice. You can find their stuff at dieharddice.com. If you use the code ANIMUS, that's all one word with a capital A, you can get 10% off of your order. And I highly recommend checking out the Luminous Chrome RPG set. They're really, really pretty, and they've got like these sparkly things in them. So when you roll them, it's just very flashy and glittery. It's really cool. I like it. I couldn't find my set before we started streaming, but by the next stream I should have them so I can actually show them to you. I'm still unpacking some of my stuff from the move. But yeah, go check them out at dieharddice.com. Again, if you use the code ANIMUS with a capital A, you can get 10% off your entire order. And if you would like to catch up on this show or any others that we have on the channel, you can do so at Fantasy Network at watch.thefantasy.network. There was a little bit of a delay in getting some of the new shows added in, but they are up now, so everything should be up to date as of the beginning of this week for all of our shows. So go check it out if you've missed any episodes or you want to catch up or anything like that. All that out of the way, we'll go to the top left for introductions. V, tell us a little bit about Anaka and yourself.
Hi, I'm V. I'm an artist. I work primarily in pencil sketch and watercolor, but also some digital art. So if you'd like to take a look at any of my stuff, you can certainly do so. I have an art Twitter, which is at Pepero Draws. That's Pepero like the candy. And I play Anaka, and she is a dark force using Togruta. And she kind of started off strong as the broody teenager of the group, as she was so affectionately dubbed. And now she's tired of doing that. She's coming out of her shell a little bit. But with that, the crew is swiftly learning that the less quiet and reserved she is, the more she steals things and causes trouble. So she's, finding her bearings and catching up on some things in her past that she's looking forward to coming back to. And that's it. That's Naka.
Awesome. Next, we'll hop down to Nikki. Tell us a little bit about Ilsa and yourself.
Hi, I'm Nikki. Ilsa is my stormtrooper school dropout, run away from Imperial family who discovered she has Jedi powers, who's really leaning towards the dark side. But other than that, she's the druid, kind of. She loves plants and has pets and likes to make tea for everybody. You can find me at JDPot7575 on places.
Awesome. Yeah, Ilsa is a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed the I'm gonna kill all the stormtroopers like one moment and the next moment it's like, who wants cake? And that's really funny. Next we'll hop over to Jordan. Tell us a little bit about Nadara and yourself.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can y'all hear me? Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, we can hear you.
I'm Jordan, aka Sassy with Sander. You can catch me everywhere at Sassy with Sander. I play Nadara Arcturus, who is a Zabrak, and she is a Chaos Nugget. And that is all I will say on that.
That's fair. Next, we'll hop over to Matt. Tell us a little bit about Jai, or should we say Captain Jai at this point, and yourself.
Hi, I'm Matt. I'm a content creator of various stripes, and I play Jai Soren, who is the son of a clone commando from the war, and is having to grow up and hates it. Don't call him captain. He's not ready yet.
All right. That's fair. And then last but not least, Par, tell us a little bit about Zadu/Grakus and yourself.
Hey there, I thought it was going to be for a second. Hey there, I'm a relatively new to the TTRPG world. So I guess you could say I'm a novice, only about 2 years under my belt. I think officially, actually, we're past the 2-year mark now. I play Grakus and Zadu for the foreseeable future. Grakus is a Sith Ewok, true Sith, really creepy little dude that I foreshadowed for the entire first season. And Zadu is my Mandalorian, who's always been there and always will be here for this adventure, because he is, the name of the show.
Awesome. All right, that just leaves me. I'm Raven. I'm the creative director for The Raven Evermore, which is my brand for all the various things that I do, most of which are tabletop related. You can find all of my various things at my link tree, which is in chat. But if you can't see chat, if you're watching this on the Fantasy Network later, it is linktr.ee/The Raven, like it's spelled below my face. And then I play everybody else in the galaxy, including Kieran Lal, who is a former Jedi. Was the sort of stand-in pilot for Zadu while Zadu was away during our second season. She's really fun to play. She's been through some stuff. And I also played all the baddies and everything else in the game, obviously. Last session, you got Kieran back, and she seemed really none the worse for wear, aside from being really groggy from a trank dart. There was some question as to whether or not she was possessed by a Sith, which Anaka tested that out in the process. Kieran found out that Anaka has a little Sith hitchhiker. So that was interesting. And you were able to, if not entirely foil the sort of Black Fleet's plans in Endor, you definitely threw a wrench into them. And then Jai planted a little piece of evidence, not so much evidence as like a tip, I guess you could say, to the new Jedi Order that, hey, the thing that somebody may or may not have stolen is over here in Endor. So eventually the new Jedi Order is going to run into that, which will make things really interesting in the galaxy. So that's kind of the rundown of what happened last session. In this one, you've all gotten back to the Mythosaur, which is the Venator class Star Destroyer that the Mandos have sort of made home, essentially, for the Mandalorians on their quest to restore Mandalore. I know we mentioned a lot of the things that you'd be doing, right out of the gate. I, of course, didn't write them down, and so I don't remember. But Jai, what were you going to do as soon as you get to the Star Destroyer again?
I was taking the new all of our friends on a tour of the facility to help them choose their so they can both choose their rooms and introduce them to Bevan. So Nadara and take Zadu to be like, hey, we found him, it's fine, so we got Zadu back, and then let them choose rooms. So introduce them to the boss and then rooms.
Okay. Bevan is on the bridge, sort of making sure everything's running smoothly. It's not like a Republic or Imperial ship. You can pretty much just walk up onto the bridge whenever you want, they kind of trust everybody to like not bother people on the bridge unless they have something that actually needs to be brought up.
Who's gonna make trouble in a ship full of Mandos?
Yeah, it's yeah. There's a training ring for any problems that the Mandos have with each other, so they can go duke it out.
Is Bevan still kind of the in charge person, or do we have some clan leaders, or does Jai even know? I don't know. Jai's very interested in this, but I don't know that he's had time to check in with the rest of our people.
Yeah, Bevan's basically like the commander of the Star Destroyer. There are clan leaders that kind of decide what's going to happen for all of Mandalore, you could say. But for the most part, Bevan's in charge of like military stuff and making sure that the ship stays safe and is used to the best of its ability and whatnot.
Okay. Then yeah, I'm gonna take Nadara and Zadu up to meet Uncle Bevan.
Okay. Yeah, he's on the bridge directing people. Utini, of course, is not far away from Bevan, just sort of over there in the corner, typing away on one of the consoles on the bridge.
I can't believe I almost forgot about the Mandalorian Jawa Utini. I freaking love this show. Boy. So Jai's just gonna kind of just be like, Bavoda, hello, we're back again. We found Zadu. He's not dead, so that's cool. And we got a new friend.
Oh, good work. Zadu, glad to see that you're still with us. I heard there was some interesting things happening on Endor, Jai.
I think Jai has actually managed to cobble together a report at some point during her flight and just like shoots that to him to be like, yeah, it's bad, but I kind of pointed the New Republic at him, so shouldn't be our problem until we want it to be.
Given how large this threat seems, I think the New Republic's just going to buy us some time before it becomes our problem, really. But that was good thinking.
Well, the other thing that I do highlight in very colorful language in that report is Saxon is with them, with some members of the Death Watch. And they're pretty gung-ho about it, saying serving them is how we get Mandalore back. So, that's something to watch out for. All right, we're going to go. And it's all a bunch of space magic people. Those assholes.
Sith, right.
Yeah. A real creepy one this time. Like the Iowa bait was just funny, and annoying and mean. This one's just creepy.
Yeah, we'll keep that in mind. We've dealt with forced users before. Won't be an issue. Maybe an issue for you, but not for all of us.
There we go. Individually, it's probably not great. Zadu did duel one of them one time. It was pretty cool.
Bevan just sort of gives you like trying to think the best way to describe this. It's like a secret handshake kind of salute that only people in his little mercenary band know, which would include all of you.
We'll teach it to Nadara later. It's fine.
Yeah. And he does acknowledge Nadara, sort of just a gruff nod, and welcome aboard. If Jai vouches for you, then you're welcome to stay here as long as you need.
She throws two big thumbs ups out.
She does good
awesome.
work. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. That's pretty much it for Bevan sort of acknowledges the report and everything, says good job, and kind of turns to handle something that he was already working on when you walked in. Unless you have anything else, and then he'll...
Jai's just gonna like turn to the others and be like, so we need to find y'all rooms.
Natara goes, ooh, rooms.
Yeah, we pretty much have our choice. It's a big Star Destroyer and not a lot of us yet.
As you mention rooms and start to head away from the bridge, a very familiar voice for Jai and Zadu, not so much for Nadara, comes out of the frame of this tiny Mando, this little Jawa in Beskar, and just says, "I'd stay away from the rooms by the hangar bay. They smell really bad right now."
What did you do to my rooms?
He just shrugs and gives you this like "don't look at me" sort of expression with the helmet.
What did Anaka do to my rooms? Jai is just running now.
And as Jai,
Excuse me.
as Jai has run away, the camera pans back to this Jawa who's very clearly laughing under the armor.
I feel like this worked out better than Utini ever could have imagined.
Yep.
And don't give me that excuse me, Anaka. You know you would be the first one that Jai would assume.
I mean, yeah, but it's just polite if you don't say Anaka right away.
Look, if our friendship wasn't this good, Jai wouldn't know to suspect you.
Goodness. I'm glad I finally figured out how to do Utini's voice without, like, wrecking my throat. He's just so fun, though. Alright, so that's Jai and Zadu and Nadara. How about Ilsa and Anaka and Grakus?
I think Grakus wants to check on his two lackeys.
Yeah.
Just give me a second. Lieutenant Jenkins and Specialist Tompkins, who are presumably getting trained in the ways of the Mandalorian, and also his ship. And the Dark Troopers, because he's got a lot of things on the ship that he'd like to keep around.
That's fair. Your lackeys have done quite well for themselves. They've got, like, it's not like full Beskar, obviously, but they've got like the My First Armor version of Beskar. It's basic. What is it called in Star Wars? Is it Durasteel? I think is what it's called. This is real basic armor, and they don't have helmets or anything like that. It's just the real basic armor pieces. So their training's going well. Your ship's totally taken care of and repaired and everything. It's all good to go, as are the Dark Troopers.
And they're on the ship.
Yep.
Nice. Okay. Less worries. Less worries for City Walk. Yeah, then I'll just check in with the two lackeys.
Yeah.
Oh, how's it gone?
Oh, Master Grakus, you're back. Yeah, everything's great. All of the droids are fine. The ship's fine. Everything's fine. How are you?
I'm just fine. You're right there. You sound a little off.
Oh, just, the anxiety. It never goes away.
Wow. The dark side has ways of dealing with that.
Oh, I'm sure it does. It's a shame I'm not force sensitive. I'll just have to, have the medical droid deal with it every so often.
Right. What is life like without the Force? Must be so boring.
It's it's fine. It's I really enjoy the living part. Want to keep doing it for sure.
Oh, well, don't worry about that. I'll keep you alive.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I'll try,
And the one who hasn't been talking just sort of is nudging the other one with his elbow, like, shut up. But yeah, they sort of wave you to the ship, which looks pristine, has a fresh new coat of paint, and all the droids are loaded into their little charging bays in the shuttle and everything.
Yes. Well, Rickus looks at it. He's very pleased. You two may not know it yet, but eventually, we're gonna get up to some real fun.
It's me. They just give you that sort of smile that you give someone when they say something that sounds absolutely like the worst idea you've ever heard, but you don't want to hurt their feelings. So you just sort of smile and like, yeah, that sounds great.
The look on Rickus's face is not comforting. Definitely looks back with the face of, you're in this now?
Yep.
And if you try to escape.
Gracious and comforting looks are two things that I'd never expect to hear in a sentence.
It's really not comforting. It might be his attempt, but it's definitely not. It's more of a, you're in this now.
Oh, I love this. The Sith Ewok and two. I'm trying to think of how to describe these two Imperial lackeys who have just been sort of caught up in everything. Yeah.
Poor souls.
Poor souls. There you go. These two poor souls who have been sort of forced into this.
You gotta start trusting me eventually. I know the face a little off-putting, the smile eerie, the whole presence disturbing, but that's just me in a nutshell. Gracchus.
Yeah, they're just really uncomfortable and anxious. So much
The
anxiety.
giggling doesn't help.
No.
The giggling does not help.
You can kind of tell, like, they had just started to kind of chill out a little bit, and we're getting into the, like, okay, Mandalorians are fine, this isn't so bad. We can, finally let our guard down a little bit and relax. And then Gracchus shows up.
No. Gotta remind them. In fact, I want to make sure that between the three of us, we all have a comm system.
Okay. That's totally doable. These poor techs. Oh, goodness. I feel so bad for them.
Very important that you do these things for me to understand. We're gonna need to start supplying soon.
Right away, Master Gracchus. They get to whatever it is that you need them to do without much of an issue. How about Ilsa and Anaka? What are the two of you up to on the ship?
I think Zalu's kind of showed Elsa where the rooms were, so she picked one out, and now she's just walking around, with her whole dark aura, darkness.
Okay. Nobody really seems to notice too much. though Anaka and Zadu, you are welcome to roll use the Force if you would like to see if you notice Ilsa's dark aura of darkness
Absolutely.
as she's wandering around the ship,
Well,
choosing quarters.
She's like probably gonna like paint her room black and dye her hair black. Listen to. Sorry, I can't be stupid.
I love it. So yeah, you both can sense that Ilsa's going through her emo phase right now, in the Force. Just in case you want to do anything about it.
Breakus grimaces. For some Sith, the emo phase is necessary to get the true darkness, but it's like looking back at your teenage self. It's like,
So much angst, yeah. I love that.
Anaka can't decide if it's funny or if it's alarming. Perhaps a little bit of both.
Yeah.
But she doesn't say anything right now, so.
Okay. What is Anaka doing?
That is a very good question. So she's not talking to Kieran. That's for sure. She's not going out of her way to find Jai. I know that much. Who has apparently blamed her for something. I don't know what's going on there. Anaka is an innocent, lovely little being who has never done anything wrong in her life. So,
Are we talking about the same Anaka?
Absolutely. She is nothing wrong ever, aside from that time she stole some shit from a Jedi temple. But you know what? We'll just overlook that.
You said that with a straight face. I'm really impressed.
Listen, I have no idea what you're talking about. Anaka is lovely. And like I said, has never done a single bad thing in her entire life. So do with that information what you may. Speaking of theft, though, Raven, I know you said you had some ideas about those little holocrons that I had my paws on.
I do. And you did succeed last week at sort of metaphorically cracking that open. So, you are able to find out that this particular holocron belonged to a Lord Drakeich, Draakich, who was an ancient Sith, who was part of and by that I mean they were of the race Sith, and also the more modern definition of Sith, and part of a group that went to the unknown regions of space, and then were kind of never really heard from again. So that's what the holocron is, and it's basically how it works. It's like this Dark Lord's memoirs, if you will. Their autobiography, everything that they know about the Force, all of that knowledge sort of put into this interactive AI version of themselves. So you can actually like talk to them and ask them questions and things like that, and have them sort of give. You can partake of it. Pass on their knowledge to you.
Great. So not only do I have a little annoying jackass in my head, but I've got another pompous asshole I can interact with.
Yep.
Does Hatsuska have any thoughts or opinions on this Sith?
Actually, he does. So if you ask Hadzuska about Darth Drakeich, he explains to you that particular Dark Lord was from his own time, and all of them practiced a form of the Force that was considered to be almost like heresy. Very strange, like witchcraft kind of a thing in the Force. So these if you've if you've seen any of the stuff about Dathomir, that style of force magic.
Wow, the ancient Sith did bad, weird mojo. I'm surprised.
Yes, but it was of a particular brand that Hadzuska and his group didn't approve of, essentially. And so they were eventually sort of forced out of Korriban, and they all basically said, well, fine, we're going to go make our own Sith temple with blackjack. And they went off to the unknown regions of space, and nobody heard from them again.
Okay.
So Hadzuska's just like, oh, this guy.
Okay. I'm gonna think of some specific questions that I don't have yet, and I will let you know what they are when I think of them.
Okay. And that can very easily be okay, let me think of what I want to ask this, and then I'll come back to the holocron thing. So that can absolutely happen in character as well.
Okay, yeah, she'll probably come back to it then.
Excuse me. All right. Well, I think that covers everybody's initial actions on the Mythosaur. Jai, you eventually do get to that part of the ship with the rooms, and it smells just fine. Nothing's wrong with it. It was just Utini messing with you.
Jai's going to just like stand in the doorway to his quarters, which I feel like is like, I feel like it's just part of the hangar, but he moved some like wreckage of ships around and like welded it together to make basically a bigger version of his workshop from our ship, but here.
Okay.
Because it's just he has a comfier hammock here on the Mythosaur, really is what it is. So Jai's just gonna stand there in the doorway, just like just glaring, and is gonna get on the comms and just be like, "Hey, Anaka."
Yes, Jai, what can I do for you now?
Next time we get to a marketplace, you and I need to come up with some way to get Utini.
Oh, say less. Absolutely.
And that's that. Jai's gonna actually just go get Captain Rogers' head from off the ship and take it to his Mythosaur workbench and just start like sketching out designs for a body for him.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm just giggling at the thought of it's Sith saying "say less." I don't know why, but that's the funniest thing to me.
Say less. Anaka is always down for tormenting Utini. No, it doesn't matter what the circumstance.
Of course. Okay, cool. Well, while you were all doing your thing, you've got about a day on the ship before Jai, you get a message from Bevan, a little calm message. Says, hey, I know your crew's been through a lot lately, and we've got a contact on Ilo that we need to just basically do a dead drop with, and I thought your crew might like some R&R, so we're going to send you to go pick that message up. Take a little bit of time there if you'd like, and before you come back.
Awesome. Great. Yeah, shoot us details of the contact and everything. Does not even ask what an ILO is. It's just like, cool, time off, love it. And then he'll like do like just a team-wide comm to everybody, just be like, we got assigned an R&R mission on some place called Ilo, so rendezvous with the ship and we can go to have a day off. Or
do we have time for it? We have time for a day off?
Yes. Well, it's an order, so we have to take the day off.
Fine.
And But here's the thing, Ilsa. Here's the thing. We're supposed to do a dead drop first. We can totally rebel against that and do the dead drop last. So we're following orders, but not really.
Fine, it's all the same anyway.
Cool. Jai has no intention of doing the dead drop last. He's going to do it himself, and it's going to be the first thing he does.
Sure.
But this gets everyone on the boat, so we're okay.
Oh my goodness. That was amazing.
And it was literally all he and I could think of in the moment. That'd be like, I need to introduce an act of rebellion for her. Uh-oh.
All right. So yeah, you get the details sent over. You've got like a week before you need to be back, and it'll only take you a day to get there. You've got plenty of time to go grab the data, relax, enjoy the resorts there, and then head back. Is there anything that any of you want to do or acquire before hopping back on the ship to head over there? And is everyone going? I don't know if Grakus wants to come or not. Entirely up to you.
This choice seemed so easy before he saw the state of his lackeys. Now he realizes that he needs to, stick around and, just spend some time with them, some real quality time. And really, he's gonna KOTOR to them.
Oh, Lord.
Which is, as long as they're in his party, when he's making the decisions, they're gonna feel some of that influence.
It's literally like every day, every conversation. It's just the lackeys will remember this.
So, as much as Grakus would, he wouldn't mind a day off, but it's more important to make sure that his two accomplices are really committed to the cause of Team Grakus.
Oh my god. Okay.
Hashtag Team Grakus.
Love that. Okay. So we've got Zadu, Jai, I'm assuming Anaka, Ilsa, Nadara, and Kieran's gonna go as well. Alright. There's nothing else that you would like to do before getting on the ship. Then you are able to head on over there. The trip is pretty uneventful. It takes a little less than a day to get over to the planet. And as you enter orbit, it looks absolutely pristine and gorgeous. It's mostly ocean with just like a bunch of tropical islands. To use a Star Trek reference, it's like the Star Wars version of Risa. So everything is just perfect, and the weather's really nice everywhere on the planet. And the population is basically the entire economy of the planet is just tourism. You're able to get to the island in particular where you need to do the dead drop pickup. And you are greeted by the staff there and informed that your week stay has already been paid for. And they escort you to your rooms. And they've got probably like 3 rooms set up, but they're like really big rooms, so it's if you're doubling up with someone, it's not that big of a deal. There's separate beds and like little dividers that you can pull up in between, things like that. And yeah, they basically just let you know anything that you want. For the most part, just let them know and they'll get it for you, food or drinks or whatever.
Oh boy. Jai is going to sneak away and do the dead drop first.
Okay.
Probably without telling anyone. Just kind of like, I'm going to go get a drink somewhere and go and do that. Do that job.
Okay. Could I get a stealth check?
Sure. Sometimes I forget that I'm actually very good at stealth.
Yeah. Before anybody even really notices that you're gone, you've made it to the dead drop site, which is this trash reclamator little unit that kind of looks like a giant pineapple, and at the bottom of it, sort of underneath the trash bag container thing, is a little disc thing with some sort of information on it, but it's what you're looking for, and you are able to retrieve it.
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna grab that, and I guess that's it. Yeah, I don't know that I need to check it, so I'm not gonna.
Yeah, there was nothing in the orders about not checking it or checking it, so it's like if you looked at it, you wouldn't get in trouble, but if you don't look at it, you also won't get in trouble. It's not something that you had to do.
I probably will look at it eventually, but maybe it's just on the way back. Like I'll load it in my data pad and just have it projecting in my helmet while I'm walking.
Okay.
Just skimming. I'm skimming it, seeing if it's anything that's gonna immediately make me be like, "Oh, this is bad," or if it's just like, "All right, normal update stuff."
Yeah, it's pretty much normal update stuff. Information about positions and numbers for the New Republic, and keeping an eye on some of the new Jedi operatives that are around the galaxy that are not at the temple. Things like that. Weirdly enough, they're not really looking at the Empire at all with this particular report, but anything that you wanted to know about the New Republic, it's pretty much all in there.
I want to skim through, and I want to completely at random, and this is not Matt being facetious, like honestly, truly random. Jai's just gonna pick like one random Jedi operative and one random fleet location, and is going to copy whatever contact information I can find off of them onto my data pad. And that's all he's going to do. Just kind of like, I want these two just in case.
Okay.
And I don't, if it ever comes up, Raven, we can figure out who it is. Eventually. And I'm going to make a note that I have this. So
I'm also making a note of who that is.
Oh, cool. Do you want to give me names now, or
Sure.
just if it becomes relevant?
Just because I think it's funny, the Jedi's name is Cal Rissan. Rissan in the last name, Kal in the first one. No relation to Lando Calrissian, just Cal Rissan. And the fleet location is around Dantooine.
Okay, cool. So there's a fleet around Dantooine. Do I know who commands it or anything like that? I'm sure that information's in there if it's needed, right?
Yeah.
If it comes up.
Yeah, Admiral what's his name is commanding the fleet.
Okay.
It's a family name. Goes back for generations.
Love it. Yeah, from the Dantooine, what's his names?
Yep.
Yeah.
All the way back to the Old Republic. What's their names?
I did the quest with the what's his names on Dantooine. It was a pain.
Yeah. So yeah, you get that information. Everybody else, you've just been basically let loose on a resort planet with a bottomless credit card, essentially. What do you do?
Nadara has taken it upon herself to seek out anything that might be a kyber crystal. So she is running all over the place, looking under every single plant, pulling out every single book, but she's not cleaning it up. Like, she's leaving, wreaking havoc. She runs through this place, throwing pillows off of wherever, like, on a mission.
I think there's probably like a maintenance droid that's just following you around. Very Anthony Daniels style voice. Not talking directly to you, because their job is just to maintain the resort. But you just constantly hear these, oh dear, as they're collecting all of these things that you've thrown around, and they're putting them back together and cleaning it up.
She is definitely talking to this thing as if it's trying to help her. So she's like asking, like, you know what, where would you find a kyber crystal on, this place? Like, would you look in, do you have a library? Is there like a swimming pool with a cave at the bottom of it? Like, and just goes on and on and on and on and on.
They keep trying to answer like the first part of your question and get interrupted by the second part, and so they start with the second part and they get interrupted, and then they start trying to answer the third part. Sort of this like chain of conversation that happens. You're pretty sure you can see smoke coming out of one of their like little exhaust ports.
She stops and turns around and goes, "You good, bro?"
They're not quite sure how to respond to that, so they just keep cleaning.
She shrugs her shoulders and continues on her rampage through the resort.
Amazing. How about Zadu? What are you doing?
Zadu's relatively boring. Zadu still has 2 out of 3 lightsaber components, I think.
Yeah. I think the only one that you're missing is the kyber crystal.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Could, one of those handy Sith synthetic ones. But I don't know how much he's gonna do, but for today, since they've just arrived, there's a beach, right?
Yeah, there's beaches everywhere.
There's beach. So he's actually gonna go for a swim.
Okay. Very cool. Could I get a, just for kicks and giggles? Let's do a... there isn't really a... Oh, there literally is a swim skill. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, let's get a swim check. See how well Zadu's able to swim around in this unfamiliar ocean.
Now, the +8, I should be a decent swimmer. But you never know.
15. Okay. Yeah. You're able to swim around just fine. You do get to a spot where it's a little bit deeper than what you thought it was. And there's some weird currents. And you feel like you're starting to get pulled underwater a little bit. But as soon as that happens, this sort of platform sort of raises up from the bottom of the water until you're able to stand on it with your head above water. And you realize they really have thought of everything on this planet.
Wow. Have they thought of kyber crystals? No, Zadu enjoys a swim, and after it's done, towel off, and then go and retrieve those 2 pieces of lightsaber components. And I think he's just gonna find somewhere quiet where he can meditate.
Okay.
Not like over them, but he's gonna have them with him because he's kind of envisioning. Because he had 2 individual battles with 2 Sith, 2 very powerful Sith, and also he's locked in captivity for a while. So he's reflecting on everything that's happened to him, but he's also, getting his mind right for facing the Sith again.
Okay, cool. All right. I think that's probably a good spot to take a break. So we'll go on a 15-minute break, and then we come back. We'll find out what Anaka and Ilsa are getting up to on their vacation, and what the rest of this totally fine, totally normal, nothing bad's gonna happen vacation is gonna look like. So we'll be right back. we are back. All right, so Jai's doing the dead drop thing. Nadara is tearing the whole place apart looking for kyber crystals and terrorizing this poor maintenance droid. Zadu's swimming and meditating and thinking about lightsaber parts. What is Ilsa doing?
Ilsa is, well, it starts off Ilsa sloping on the beach, sitting all alone in the sand. She's probably wearing black. And some locals run by, and one of them stops and grabs her. And slowly she starts to have fun. This is basically a scene out of lots of different teen beach movies and TV shows. And she's having fun. She goes out into the water. You see her laughing for once and smiling. She's just having a great, great time.
Well, that's fantastic. I like
very
that.
Opposite everyone else, they've seen how much she's been sulking, but no, now she's just being a happy teenager having spring break type fun.
Awesome. Yeah, and everyone there is super friendly and they're all having a great time with you. So while that's happening, how about Anaka?
Sorry, I still have my hands full of dog food.
Okay. No
just
worries.
give me a couple minutes. You can keep going.
All
Just
right.
skip past me. I'll figure something out.
No
Well,
worries.
Ilsa's probably playing volleyball. Do they have beach volleyball or kind of that?
I'm
Like a
sure
big
there's
floaty-
space volleyball or something like that.
that doesn't hit anybody in the water or somebody that might be meditating.
not naming any Zadu names, right?
Oh, no, never.
Let's see. There's not an athletics one in this game. What is the closest equivalent? Let's do let's just do like perception, just to see if, so you can see where you're hitting the ball, and see if you're able to tell where someone in the water or someone who might happen to be meditating is before you hit the ball. So a 17. Did you want to have Ilsa purposefully hit the ball that way or accidentally? Sorry, you're muted there. What was that?
Yes, that was my answer.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, at some point, whether it was on purpose or not is debatable, it sounds like. But Zadu, this sort of like volleyball, beach ball type thing, just sort of smacks you in the head. And you can see Ilsa from the direction that it came from. And is Ilsa laughing, or does she feel bad?
Oh yeah, she's laughing.
Okay.
And she's laughing with a bunch of the locals. They're like, how teenage girls do.
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry.
Zato initially has that sort of goddamn kids expression as he grabs the ball. Then when he looks over and Ilsa's laughing, it's just complete shock. But he throws the ball back and just moves somewhere else to meditate. He's very much shocked that, this might not be such a bad vacation after all. Ilsa's in a good mood. Having a fun time.
Awesome.
Yeah, she'll accidentally hit anybody that's in her that's from her ship that's nearby, just because she's having fun, she's being playful.
I like it.
Anybody else want to get hit by a ball?
Well,
Nadara, do you want to get the eyeball?
Nadara is always down, but she's 95% positive there's a crystal inside the ball. So, would you like to hit me with the ball? Because she's ready.
If they have another one, the teams have an extra one.
oh, I'm sure there's like.
Okay.
I'm sure it's like lousy with volleyballs on this island, and
Yeah,
various
why not?
beach gear. All right.
When it comes at me, I want to pull my knife out, and I'm holding it to catch it with my knife.
Those teenagers are so laughing at you so hard when you do that.
Let me get a dexterity check. Yeah.
If I fail this, I'm going to be so sad because I have something to do. Okay, hold on. Where's dexterity? Why is it so hard to find things? Where is dexterity? Oh, just
Top
like
left.
this one.
Yeah. 21. Yeah. That's pretty good for just a straight dex roll. You get your knife out in time, and you're able to just stab this thing.
It gets onto my knife. She is going to like warrior scream and like slam it to the ground and rip it open.
Awesome.
And then very casually realize that there's nothing in it. And she goes, oh, here you go. And like tosses it back to you.
They're like all giggling at you and pointing.
She does a very grand bow.
I love that. And there's absolutely one that sort of like sort of soft pop sound, and then the like when you blow up a balloon and then you just barely let go of the little stem part and it makes that I can't do it now. The little whining little noise.
Yeah.
It does that when you stab it and then slam it to the ground.
I love it.
Guy, are you
I
nearby?
love it.
I'm probably walking back from the drop at this point, just kind of
Can we
lost in the minutia of these updates.
Can we get you too?
You can sure try.
Yeah, let's do a perception check from Ilsa to see if you notice Jai, since he's still sort of approaching.
Okay, I'm gonna roll that again because I have that option with my.
Oh, right.
22.
Yeah, you can see Jai
yeah.
walking up.
Yeah, I'm imagining Ilsa just pointing people out that she's aiming at, so that befriended can all laugh at the people as they get the ball.
One of the local kids has brought out like an entire cart of balls at this point, because now the game is no longer like volleyball, it's who can we pelt with volleyballs.
Nadara is running after every single one. Every single one.
So yeah, Jai, as you're walking along, suddenly there's a volleyball that just bonks on your helmet.
Can I actually like roll a perception on that
Sure, yeah, if you
before
prefer to
it
do
gets
that.
to me? Because I have something funny I want to do. 16? I will spend force points.
What's the funny thing that you want to do?
Well, I have this gauntlet flamethrower that I don't get to use. And I feel like the appropriate like Mando in full armor move is just be like, no. And then just like, no. Like not even say that, just burn it to cinders in the air and keep walking and just like wave.
Yep, yeah, absolutely, that's what happens.
Or at least Ilsa's laughing about it and probably like mocks like.
Well, I love this idea that like Jai might be the only one of the crew who has armor to still be in armor for the beach day because he was doing a job first. So it's just like to everyone else on the beach, this crazy kid just like was just like, oh, we're gonna peg a Mando, and the Mando was just like,
I love that. All right.
just to be extra about it, you know.
Okay, I
That's
think Elsa
perfect.
got except for Anaka.
Speaking of Anaka, is Anaka available at the moment?
I'm here. I've finished with the dog food.
Awesome. So what's Anaka doing, and is Anaka getting hit with a volleyball?
Yes.
Anaka's absolutely not getting hit with a volleyball. She's staying far away from that mess. Anaka has also never had like a proper day off in her entire life. So I feel like she has no idea what to do.
Get hit by volleyballs.
No, absolutely not.
Okay, that might be like a moment for like this could be a moment for Jai and Anaka then, because I don't know that Jai is very good at day off either.
Yeah, Anaka's just she's just wandering around, I guess. Probably sticking to the shade because, you know, bright light and dark color, not very good. But yeah, she's never really, at least not since she was a weed bab, you know? Taken from her mom's arms, that sort of thing. She's just steady go ever since. So yeah, if you want to catch up with Anaka, then she's just puttering around.
Yeah, that's that this could be a lot of fun. So I feel
Besties
like
Day!
Jai is gonna get back to the ship and just like probably just then piece together that was Ilsa that pegged him with a volleyball. And to be like, oh, all right. Well, that's probably good. And Naka.
Yeah, she you're still on the ship, right? I'd say she's probably
Just got back to the ship, yeah.
yeah, I'd say she's probably still inside the ship. So she hears you calling and she kind of like pokes her head out. Yeah.
It's supposed to be beach day? I'm not 100% sure what that means, but Ilsa's having fun. And
Well,
we shouldn't let her get away with that. Unchallenged for best fun of beach day.
I think your logic is a little off there, Jai, but okay. What did you have in mind?
I think we find something and we go out and we kill a sea monster.
There is absolutely dead silence.
This is exactly what Jai believes beach day is for is, well, we're on a water planet. There's probably sea monsters. I bet we can hunt one of those. And
Naka's
if
just
I have the
looking at
force
you
magic
slowly.
person here, what can go wrong?
Anaka just like raises an eyebrow at you. Like she's like trying to piece the logic together in her brain. Just doesn't get it. Like, okay, sea monster, cool. That's your first thought. So she's a little confused, but you know what? Jai's got the spirit, so she's got nothing else to do.
Perfect. This is how all good plans come together. So Jai's gonna go find someone who works here.
Okay.
Or he's going to go to the marina and acquire water transport. If he meets someone who works here along the way, cool, but he's going to get water transport, whether they help him or not.
Okay. Yeah. Excuse me. Like you can basically throw a stone and metaphorically speaking, you could throw a stone in and I suppose for some of you literally maybe, but probably shouldn't. Anyways, point being, there's people that work there that are very close by anywhere you go.
So, yeah, Jai is going to go find one of them and to be like, I need something that goes on the water, goes fast, can carry 2 people or 2 one-person vehicles, and I need directions to the big mean underwater monster.
So yeah, they look at you like, well, we have these water speeders right here, and they basically look like a cross between like a swoop bike and a jet ski. And they sort of hover just above the surface of the water, and they look very fast. And he says, as far as like the sea monster, you said.
So at this point, particular, discussing the sea monster, Anaka, who is standing behind Jai, just gives one of those looks like, you know when a child is just going off about something and the parent is standing back, like looking like, you got it, sweetheart. Like that's the way Anaka looks at the staff member. He's just like, don't ruin this for him.
I love it. I love the support of my team. It's really touching.
Okay. Could I get a persuasion roll from Anaka?
Oh,
just see how well you're communicating this look, and if the guy is getting the message.
Persuasion. All right. Oh my god, that's a nat 1.
Oh no.
Anaka doesn't know what she's doing either, so she's just like, yeah,
So-
sea monsters.
So, instead of being like, just that sort of, just go along with it, don't ruin it for him, sort of gentle look. Instead, you communicate a look of like, if you don't go along with this, I'm going to murder you in your sleep.
Oh, I'm perfect. Anaka is perfectly fine with that. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, I figured you wouldn't be terribly opposed to that. So Jai, what you perceive, what you're able to notice, is that he's like, yeah, we've got the water speeders right there, and then all of the color drains out of their face. And they go, sea monster. Yeah, there's sea monsters deep in the ocean. It's very, very far away from here. And they sort of draw you a map, and it kind of goes past the little area where it shows like the resort waters. It's so you're basically just out in the open ocean, international waters, if you will.
Oh boy.
It's like, yeah, there's probably some out there.
Cool. Sandwiches.
Anaka gives one of those, like, how do I describe the gesture? Like the okay sign with like the circle with the fingers up. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. She gives like one of those on the down low.
Okay. And this guy just sort of trips over himself trying to get to put your sandwich orders in. It's like, yeah, we'll have those sandwiches right out. And I don't know, maybe 10 minutes later, a different person comes out with a picnic basket just stuffed full of sandwiches. Every kind you could want.
Perfect. The service here is great, isn't it, Anaka? You can just get anything. They're so polite.
Yeah, it's absolutely wonderful. I couldn't have asked for anything greater.
Yeah. Jai's just gonna look at whoever this new person is, go, cool, we're gonna go hunt monsters now.
They look very confused. And they're like, hunt monster?
Yep.
Oh, okay, have fun.
Thank you.
Let us know if you require anything else.
Will do. This is good quality help. I love this. Why don't we do this more often?
Oh,
right.
Now I just imagine a tradition of Anaka following behind Jai everywhere, just like giving really mean looks to people. So just
Are you implying that this is not what we have been doing this whole time?
I mean,
okay, I mean, you're not wrong.
it's also fair.
You
I feel like Anaka waits for Jai to leave first, and then moves slightly closer to this poor staff member, reaches out, just gives them like a little tap under the chin, just like a little good job, and then leaves.
Why do I feel like at the end of this week we're going to be taking off and behind us is just going to to be a city on fire?
Because there's absolutely nothing in the past that would give you any indication otherwise.
When you're right, you're right. All right, yeah, let's go hunt monsters somewhere.
Okay. Yeah, quick question.
Yeah, let's
Anaka.
Yeah.
Those holocrons, where were they?
Oh, for the love of God, they're in my bedroom.
Door's locked, right?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
Okay.
Boy, that's not suspicious at all.
Not at all.
So, hunting sea monsters, yeah.
So ominous, and then just, okay. I hate it so much.
You're welcome. So yeah, hunting sea monsters, you are able to pilot these things out past the border there. They're really fun to fly, by the way. Like big, like wall of water that sort of sprays up behind you as you fly across the water. And it's got that fun little like swivel thing that you can do. So just a blast to pilot these things. And you get out past that border and the water gets a little rougher. And these are hover vehicles, but they're set to stay really close to the water. So most of the waves just become these really fun ramps that you can just sort of like shoot off of and land. So it's all just a fantastic, great time. And how did you want to track down a sea monster exactly?
No idea. That has not occurred to Jai. I think his entire assumption was go out far enough and something will try to eat us to death. And then we'll kill it.
Try to eat us to death. That's promising.
I guess survival, maybe? Or maybe like a used computer to have hacked something and tracked something, maybe?
Yes, I think survival would be the best one here. I was just curious if Jai had any particular flavor of how he was going to track this down. Okay, yeah, go ahead and roll survival.
Actually, no, probably the assumption, like deep down in like the recesses of the brain was just like, I don't know, the force will do it. Because that's how the force works. I got 25 on survival.
Okay. You know enough about aquatic life forms to kind of tell where something like this might be, and you've got your instruments on your helmet and whatnot. So you're able to find a spot in the ocean it's especially deep, and deep down towards the bottom of the ocean floor. There is sort of a big rock formation and what seems to be a cave, an underwater cave. And your best bet is like, if there was a sea monster in this ocean, that's probably where it would live. And you can decide to try to lure something like that up to the surface, or you can go after it.
So Jai will just kind of like stop and be like, all right, there's a cave. And it's kind of like generally just like points down towards it, be like, you think you can like convince it to come out? Otherwise, we're going to sacrifice sandwiches. And that just seems like a losing proposition.
Anaka takes a quick moment to contemplate how she got here.
Your best friend asked, and you were not quick enough to say no. Or to
Valid.
not it your way out of it.
Valid. Can Anaka sense anything large in the immediate vicinity?
Yeah, there is a large creature in that cave.
I'm so excited to see what nightmare you throw at us, Raven.
Would I be able to use the force to hone in on that and get a general shape and feel for this thing and what it might potentially be?
You can absolutely try to do so, yes.
Wow, 23. That's not great.
It's a little hard to tell. It's large, very, very, very much so bigger than you and Jai. Maybe like really big whale sized. But that's about all you're able to really tell. You're not able to quite reach like its thoughts, to tell if it's like hostile or an herbivore or a carnivore. It's really hard to tell. All you know is that it's there and that it's really big.
Yeah, I suppose. Okay, hold on, let me get my stuff. How far is this thing?
I'm trying to think of perspective and how deep would be too deep. Maybe how deep can you go underwater before you really need to have like gear for it? 50 meters? 100?
No idea. You're asking the person who's afraid of the ocean.
You could probably do like 100 meters relatively safely.
Okay, yeah, we'll say somewhere around there then.
It would not be the healthiest thing, but you could do it.
All right, so if we were to translate that to squares.
Roughly, let's see.
The 5 footer, right?
Yeah.
5 foot square.
100. 60 squares, roughly.
Okay. The longest distance that I can pull things is 30 squares, so that's not great. Yeah, I think that's the longest distance that I've got. Okay. I mean, we could try sandwiches.
All right. Jai just like grabs a random, whatever is the stinkiest sandwich in there. Like it's got the fancy cheese and like some seafood thing on it. He just like grabs that and just yeets it over his shoulder. That'll probably work.
Okay.
Jai, are we not going to put like a weight or something on it? This is a hefty distance.
Oh,
fucking
no.
Sandwich. It's going to float.
Yeah, and I didn't unwrap it yet. It's fine. I just had to get something out of my bag. And Jai like goes into like his pack and pulls out a box that he picked up on the mythosaur from his quarters.
Okay.
And if you've ever seen the boxes that the legacy lightsabers come in at Galaxy's Edge, it's kind of one of those. They look like the Star Wars crates. And they got a button on the front and it opens up and you can get your lightsaber out of it. He hits the button, it opens up, and he pulls out a shiny Beskar vibro bayonet. And he snaps it onto the front of his rifle and just goes, "I'm the weight," and dives onto the sandwich and jetpacks down.
Oh no.
This is a horrible idea, and I'm starting to regret my life decisions.
Yeah, that's
Oh no.
Over the calm, Jai also goes, "I'm also the hook," but that wasn't nearly as good a line.
Oh, so that would be the hook line, and then you're the sinker.
No. Mm-mm.
I leave the sinker up to Anaka. That's probably the speeder, unfortunately.
Well, could I get a perception check from Jai?
Of course you can. I would love to know how much trouble I'm in. 23.
Well, have you seen Tremors?
I have.
Something that looks a little bit like that, with lots of tentacles and like way bigger. Pokes its head out of the little cave, and one of those tentacles just zooms up towards you real quick, like. It likes sandwiches, apparently. So I'm just reading up this really cool ability. It can do a grapple check as a free action.
I hate that.
Right? Isn't it great? So grapple is your strength plus what is it? Your level plus your strength? Is that right?
It's no, it's your base attack bonus plus strength.
Base attack bonus plus strength. Okay. Base attack bonus is that number, and strength is holy crap. Okay. I need to figure out what the modifier is for that ginormous number.
Cool. So I'm grappled, huh?
Probably. Oh, wow. I might have to adjust that down. I didn't know this thing was... Yeah, that's a 22 modifier? That's ridiculous.
What did you sick on me?
Creature.
Okay.
This
Jaigo
is the worst.
In some other world, Jaigo squish.
Yeah, we're gonna tune that down a little bit, because instant grapple, no matter who you are, is a little overpowered, especially for what it can do once it actually grapples you. So I'm just gonna use like Kieran's stats for grappling.
This is just a baby one.
Yeah, so 29 for grapple.
Oh, do I need to oppose that somehow?
You do. So you do a grapple check as well, and then whoever gets the higher one wins, essentially.
A 29. This is not worth spending my last destiny point on. I got a 33.
Nice. Yeah, so you're able to, like, maybe you just, get that Beskar vibroblade in just the right spot to sort of make yourself less desirable to be grappled, and the tentacle sort
For
of...
what it's worth, that's a nat 20.
Oh,
is
nice.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Oh, yeah. I did real good. I did good.
Awesome. Yeah.
Thank you, Dice.
So you get this tentacle out of the way, and you can see that this thing is perhaps a little scarier than what you had in mind. It's kind of back to your turn for a second here, and then we'll go to Anaka, since you got the nat 20.
Cool. So Jud's gonna just be like, Hey, Anaka.
Yes, Jai. Glad to see you're not dead yet. What is
Well, not for lack of trying. I'm really hoping in this moment right now that old saying about there being a bigger fish is a lie, because if it's true, you and I are dead, and probably everyone on this planet. Well, I'm gonna go and see if I can stab it to death.
Jai, don't you think that maybe that's a bad idea? Just come back. Just come back to the speakers. We don't have to be here. We don't have to engage at all. Just come back.
Alternatively, and I
Oh,
fire a
God.
microproton torpedo at it.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Anaka takes a very brief moment to think how much trouble she would be in if she left Jai, and whether that amount of trouble is worth it.
If she's wondering this over the comms, you guys, she's going to be like, I mean, I don't think we need reinforcements. I feel pretty good about this. I got a 25 to hit.
Oh, let's see. What is your reflex defense?
Mine?
No, this thing's.
Oh, okay.
Would you like to add a force point?
Yes.
Okay.
given the opportunity. 27?
All right, that'll hit.
Yay!
What's your hit
34
points?
damage.
Oh shit! This thing has ridiculous hit points.
Uh-huh. Do you need to scale those down too?
No, I'm just gonna get rid of its damage reduction. Because that is also really high. Hit points. Okay, and then how much damage?
34.
Okay. One sec. I just need to write this down.
This is how we get our tiny little bit of comeuppance for all of those wonderful cliffhangers. Is sometimes we just make stupid decisions and make you adapt on the fly.
I am so here for it. This is gonna be great. Okay, so that's where its HP is now. Okay, so you hear it sounds sort of like an earth whale call.
Perfect. Great.
But like if that call were made by an eldritch monster and put through like vocal processing to sound even scarier. And the water just sort of ripples with how impactful those sound waves are coming from this thing. Anaka, you can hear it above water. It is terrifying, the sound. Jai seems to have made it angry. Anaka, what would you like to do here?
Go home. Quite honestly, get the fuck out. But
I mean, that is an option.
Yeah.
You can leave your best friend behind to be eaten by a sea monster if you want to.
Anaka is not gonna do that.
Hatsuska is adamantly suggesting that, by the way.
Oh, I have no doubt whatsoever in my mind. Anaka does agree with him for a moment, and then she's like, no. In the grand scheme of things, perhaps choosing the option that Hatsuska is trying to convince me for is not a great idea. My God.
Oh, this
Okay,
is,
how-
look, this is a bad decision. If you decide to go, Jai would get it. He would never let you live it down, but Jai would get it.
Anaka's not going to leave. My goodness. She has at least a little bit of loyalty. Okay, so how far is Jai?
What did I say? It was 60 squares.
Yeah.
He's probably like 30. So between you and the creature.
Okay. And sorry, I can't remember. Did you say this thing has a hold of Jai or does not have a hold of Jai?
It does not. It probably would have, but Jai got a nat 20.
Okay. Let me look at what points I have available to me, because I've got a steep DC to hit here.
All right.
Jai, Anaka's gonna kick your ass for this, buddy.
That's totally. Hey, you know what? I can call this the best friend point.
Save my life, and we'll call this the best friend point. She might think about it. Okay. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to use a destiny point if it doesn't work. I'm going to roll for it first and see what happens. But I'm going to use my fold space.
Okay.
And if I cannot get it with roll alone, then I will use a destiny point. Because contrary to Anaka's entire demeanor and everything that she says and does, she does not want Jai to die. So. All right. So. Okay. No. There's no way I'm gonna meet the DC anyway. So I'm gonna use a destiny point.
Okay. Destiny point spent. What does it do?
All right, so yeah, Anaka is going to she's going to use that fold space ability that she has used before, old and trusty, so she knows it should work. But essentially what happens is she reaches out to pinpoint where Jai is in the water below her.
Okay.
And extends her use of the force out. And the way I picture it is essentially like almost like a hand, using the force as a hand to kind of wrap around him. And the fold space essentially like blinks him from one spot to the next. So it's almost like space is literally closing in on itself to move him from one spot to another. And she doesn't try to do it very gently or with any sort of grace, because this was an absolutely horrible idea and she doesn't know why she went along with it. So with absolutely no extra grace intended, she just pulls him straight to her, as fast and quick away from this creature as she possibly can, so that they can get the hell out of there.
Okay. So I'm going to take a little bit of creative license with this. So Jai, because it is hurried and sounds like purposefully without any sort of grace intended, you and about 15 gallons of water suddenly appear backwards, a little bit above the back of Anaka's speeder, and it just sort of plummets down. Amazingly, Anaka doesn't get wet, but you get this sort of like, you know, plopping down backwards on the speeder, and then, you know, like at a big sports event when they pour the Gatorade on the coach because they won, but it's seawater. And Anaka, you hear that loud roar again coming from under the ocean. Would you like to punch it? The speed, I mean, not the creature.
Is punching the creature an option? Because it'll be every time.
I was working on it.
I mean, technically, yes, you could dive under the water and go punch it.
Absolutely not. No. There's no way in hell that's happening. So yes, we are going to leave.
Amazing.
I love it. Is there any way I could have been holding on to that tentacle that tried to grapple me when I got ripped out, so that I just have a bit of tentacle with me?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, because you'd had. Yeah. I'm gonna say no on that one.
Okay. Fair enough.
I tell you what, though, maybe because you had the vibroblade out, it might have cut off like a suction cup or something like that maybe you were able to grab.
Cool.
Alternatively, was the tentacle close enough to be part of the space that Anaka moved? So could she have potentially just ripped it?
I mean, technically, yes. I would follow that up with the question of, are you sure that's what you want to do?
Jai, do you really want this trophy?
No, not with that question from Raven. No, I do not. I assume that thing is regenerative, and then we have to deal with another one.
All right, well then, I'm going to pass on that then.
Yep. Look, it could have been a very fun gimmick, but this thing seemed like it was going to be the death of civilization, so no.
It's just a CL-15, it's fine.
Yikes. Jai's making good decisions.
It's fine. Y'all have dealt with similar difficulty things before.
Did I waste destiny points on it?
Did you spend? You haven't spent destiny points for this, though.
No. On the previously CL'd things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't have that many I have one right now, and I'm saving it for when I assume Saxon's coming hunting for me.
I see. Well, in that case, Yeah, Anaka, you're able to punch it and hurry back towards the resort. This thing chases you like right up to the very edge of the border on your map before it turns around.
Oh, I think Jai is absolutely taking like sniper pot shots at it the whole way back.
It just makes it matter.
I love it. This is perfect.
They're tentacles that just shoot out like a harpoon, and it like almost reaches you, but it's just a little bit out of reach. And Anaka's got this thing like redlined already, so it's like really get that extent of like, oh, if we were any slower, we'd be fish food right now, sort of feeling. But yeah, you make it back, and it turns around and goes back home, where it grabs the sandwich in the water and eats it.
I hope it enjoys it. I think at that point, Jai's just gonna like relax and like reconfigure his blaster away from its sniper setting, pack away the vibro bayonet into the new sheath he has for that came with it, and just kind of like lean back on the boat and just be like, that was fun. I don't think I'm gonna get to do stupid stuff like that much anymore.
Anaka, I don't know if she's ready to smack Jai or if she might agree a little bit.
Oh, here, I can help you on that. Jai takes his helmet off for this conversation.
Oh, that's great.
Oh goodness. I feel like Anaka she doesn't want to show Jai that it was, a nice bit of thrill for once. Because this was ultimately a bad idea and they almost died. So she doesn't want to encourage that again. But at the same time, like, it was fun. So she kind of puts up a finger and she opens her mouth to say something. And then she closes it again. Fine.
Jai will notice that and like very much not mention it and just relax, like close his eyes for the rest of the drive back, just be like, I didn't want to be captain, but I guess I get to. Gotta be responsible now.
Well, I mean, have you ever considered just saying no?
If I say no, someone who's not as good at it will get stuck with it. And Jai is not talking about just captaining the boat anymore, like the ship. Jai's talking about like the whole Mando thing. Jai's doing the Morden Solis, someone else might have gotten it wrong bit right now.
Anaka, she kind of loses a little bit of the snarky kind of joking that she does. Because, obviously she knows that Jai is genuinely trying to work this out. So she's not going to poke at the wound or anything like that. But she doesn't really offer much in the way of advice. She kind of lets him talk it through out loud, if that's what he wants to do. She's not one who's good for advice. Like she can hardly advise herself. So yeah, I think she would mostly just kind of quietly let him figure it out.
That's probably all he says at that point. Like he has come to his own decision and he's fine with it. He has arrived at his decision. That's about as much as he understands right now.
I think Anaka would just kind of like give him just like a one nod, just to acknowledge that, you know, she understands that he is, you know, just trying to take it a little bit at a time, and that he has kind of made that decision. But it's kind of the air of like, you know, well, you can still say no. Obviously, like to her, that's a very valid option. But she doesn't push or anything like that. She just kind of nods and okay.
All right. Meanwhile, back at the resort, as we hop back to everybody else, is there anything other than the volleyball and the kyber crystal hunting and the meditating that the other three of you would like to do while Jai and Anaka are trying to be fish food?
Question: is there like something like the equivalent of a photo booth?
Yeah, there probably would be.
Okay. First, Ilsa will take some photos with her new beach friends,
Awesome.
and then she will look for Nadara and Zadu and probably Jai and Anaka, but they're out on sea. But whoever she can find, she's going to drag in and take a picture with her.
I love that.
You find Nadara like half asleep, laid out, drooling, not half asleep, totally asleep, laid out, drooling on a bench outside because she's exhausted herself from running everywhere. So when you grab her, she's like, what?
Yeah, Elsa's got this energy she's not seen before. This is like it's like late teenage girl energy. You know, she's like, come on, let's take pictures. And she's like grabbing Nadara, like dragging her to the photo booth.
Nadara's like, what? What? But she'll go to the photo booth willingly. And then when she realizes what you're doing, she does make a normal smiling face. Like she does not know how to take a cute picture. And when she tries, it's really awkward. Like,
So is this
smiling.
The booth shot where like Elsa's like smiling and trying to joke around, and Nadara's like making weird faces?
Yeah, she's like,
Oh, that's awesome.
it's like halfway through a sentence, and like 4 of them are Nadara, just completely blurred. Like,
I think there's one with Elsa just kind of like trying to put it back in the frame, or just like a hand or something.
I love that so
at
much.
At one of them, you just see both of Nadara's feet because she's flipped over in the process.
Oh, that's perfect.
Oh, it's amazing. Okay. While the two of you are doing that, Zadu, Kieran eventually shows up, has kind of emerged from wherever she was, and it seems to be a little bit like Ilsa was initially. Actually, it was just like kind of initially sort of antisocial and like broody, before Ilsa started hanging out with her new friends. But she does eventually make it over to where Zadu is, and she's actually got like beach clothes on and everything, like a bathing suit, and is starting to get into the whole vibe. And just sort of plops down next to you, looks over and is like, "Are you meditating?"
Why, yes, I was.
Mind if I meditate next to you?
Why not?
All right, cool. I don't really want to be alone.
I can understand that. Certainly understand that.
Yeah, it's been time. She just sort of has that like 1,000-yard stare. She's looking out over the water.
It certainly has. Did you want to talk about it?
Not really. Just don't want to be by myself.
Yeah. I don't really want to talk about it either.
She just sort of gives you a nod and kind of just lays there and meditates in this sort of like the way that two people can do, where it's like we're both cool just not talking and sharing, you know, existence with one another, and that's cool. Kind of a way. And with that, that should probably wrap up the day. So in the evening, when Jai and Anaka have come back, there's a big, like resort-wide dinner that they kind of do every night, and there's just these giant tables just full of food. And a big bonfire, kind of like in the middle. So wow, words are hard. The tables and benches and everything are set up in sort of a like a circle with the fire being in the middle. So like one end of the table is close to the fire and one end is sort of further away. And they're all set up in like a big circle around the fire that way. And yeah, it's a really nice event. There's tons of really good food. Is everybody attending?
Oh, Elsa's definitely attending. She's probably having the most normal beach vacation of everybody.
Probably. Yeah, Ilsa's new friends are definitely there. And they're giving her like all these different foods to try, like local foods and stuff that they bring in, and you know, everybody's like, oh, you gotta try this, oh, you gotta try that. You haven't had this, oh, you gotta try it. All that good stuff. And then Anaka, real quick. So you had the Sith holocron, and I think one of the Jedi ones, and then there was the third one for Ilsa. Did you have that one also? Or did Ilsa have that one?
That's a good question.
I don't think you had given any away.
No, I think I took them all with me, and there was the fiasco with the dog, so I just tucked them all in my room.
Okay. So when you get back, I presume you'd want to change clothing, or just go to your room for a minute before dinner. And the door is still locked, and everything. But when you get in, there's like a shelf or a footlock or something like that has been knocked over. And only the Sith holocron is left in the room.
The fuck? Okay. I assume these holocrons must give off some sort of signature, right? Like if I were to pinpoint them with the Force?
I mean, you can certainly try. I know you'd definitely be able to track the Sith one because you've interacted with it, you've opened it. I don't know that you necessarily would be able to find the Jedi ones, but you can always try. If you get a really high roll or like a nat 20 or something like that, you might be able to kind of track it down.
I'll give it a try, just to see.
The Sith one ate the other two.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Oh my god, I'm not rolling great today.
So with a 24, you get like a general sense that they're still on the planet, but you couldn't tell where they are specifically.
Okay. My instinct is to go rat on Kieran.
So Anaka comes out and it's just like, hey, Kieran stole the things that I stole that I wasn't supposed to say that I stole. Crap.
No, it's more like, I swear to God, if Kieran stole my shit.
Oh.
Jai's probably coming out of the hangar module thing, and like has changed into his approximation of civvies, which is kind of still mostly armored. It's just disguised and isn't the full Mando thing.
I love that.
It's like just a heavy armored jacket and a blaster on his side. And he just like looks at Anaka and just goes, "What now?"
She's absolutely seething. Like somebody came into her room and stole her shit. So she just looks at you. She says, "Where's Kieran?"
1 second. Jai like reaches back in, like grabs his helmet off of the work table, like puts it on, just goes, "Hey, Kieran."
There's this pause and then a sigh, just like, what's up, Jai?
Hey. So you didn't reclaim those 2 Jedi holocron, did you? Like, it's cool if you did, but just let me know.
To the best of my knowledge, has anyone told Kieran that those were stolen?
Yeah, she got
Yes.
she got mad at Anaka, didn't she, for
She was
stealing all
there.
3? Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Okay. I got something
That's
mixed up
why
in my
she
head.
was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
she was initially mad at Anaka because she figured out that Anaka stole all 3 of them.
Right, okay. Okay, never mind. Backtracking in my head here for a second. Yeah, Kieran goes, did I what now, Jai?
Did you reclaim the 2 Jedi holocron from Anaka?
No.
Okay, she's not going to believe you, so heads up, Anaka's furious, and also someone stole the 2 Jedi holocron.
And Kieran kind of doesn't sound all that concerned. Just like, well, hey, I'm not a Jedi anymore, so that sounds like a Jedi problem.
I am so proud of you in this moment. I'm going to make this better, but I am so proud of you, Kieran. And Jai takes his helmet off, like doesn't say he's ending the call, just takes his helmet off and like tosses it back on carefully puts it back on his like shelf and just goes, "Hey, Anaka, Kieran didn't steal it. You're not allowed to be mad at her." Best friend point.
No. You used the best friend point, which saved your ass.
You
Jai.
never said I did. I offered it and you didn't claim it.
I certainly did.
Oh, this is still what Jai says. It's
God.
like, she didn't steal it. She has no interest in Jedi shit. Please don't be mad at her. Or at least don't kill her.
I find it certainly hard to believe that that's the case, considering she got angry at me for stealing them in the first place.
We were on turf that was like traumatic and memorable to her.
And
Tell you what, there's supposed to be some like bonfire-y food thing. You can tell everyone how idiotic I was. And tomorrow morning, we'll hunt down whoever stole stuff.
so you want to allow the person who stole from my room the next however many hours to make away with what they've stolen without any sort of effort to reclaim them. And you want to leave that until tomorrow. Is that what you're saying?
Raven,
Yeah.
I want to use computers to access the cameras in the ship.
Okay. Go ahead.
Jai's just gonna be like, fine. Oh no.
Is that a nat 1?
No.
It's a
That's
2.
Can I make an argument for advantage that this is my ship and I know these computers?
That does sound like a very good argument.
You do have an advantage.
I will use that advantage.
Okay. I'm going to say no on the free advantage, but you do
Okay.
have one that you can use.
I will cash that in.
Okay.
22.
Okay.
That feels better. That feels more like a Jai computer roll.
Question. Is it
What's
just Jai looking at this, or can Anaka see it at the same time?
Well, I'm not using my helmet. I clearly put that back on the shelf. So I'm using just the main holo terminal on the dinner table. I'm really hoping I'm not about to burn one of our party members.
Yeah, how good are the cameras? Are they potato cameras, or are they like 4K cameras, or what are we dealing with?
Cutscene from KOTOR 2 cameras?
Okay, so potato cameras.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, you can't tell who it is exactly. But I mean, it is a feminine build, wearing a cloak.
Yes, it's a person with 2 legs and probably some arms.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's not me. It's not Zadu. No Leku, I assume.
Nope. It's just a hood. I mean, for all intents and purposes, it could be Anaka, from what you can tell. It is a dark cloak.
Okay. And it's not Locke, and it's unless it's both dogs on top of each other, like standing on each other's shoulders. It's not the dogs.
It's 2 dogs in a cloak.
So
Oh, please let it be the dogs come back for the holocrons.
That means it's if we're going to just assume that it's one of our crewmates, which is a dangerous assumption, then we got a couple people that could fit a bill, but also I didn't lock the ship when I left. Do you think that the last people off of our ship would have thought to lock our ship when they left?
You can also see on the video feed, whoever this person is, they keep their head turned away from the camera, and they hack the lock, go in, are there for a little bit, come back out, and then relock it.
So it's pointed, like they know that the camera's there.
Seems to, yeah.
And they knew that you had the holocrons.
Potentially.
Okay. So I'll admit this looks bad, but one, to my knowledge, Kieran doesn't know how to hack. Jai's never seen her do it. And 2, she probably wouldn't bother disguising herself. She doesn't seem to mind if you're angry at her.
Is there any particular timestamp on when during the day that this was? Is there any indication?
Oh, it's definitely while y'all were out on your little sea adventure.
A conundrum, for sure.
It's the case of the missing holocron. The disaster twins will be on it next week.
And it will be next week, because we are coming up on
Oh my
time.
god.
And Jai's entire role in that detective hunt is basically going to be like, okay, no murdering. Absolutely no murdering. Put the lightsaber down, no murdering.
Before we do
a whole vacation.
before we finish up,
Relaxing
thanks
for a day.
thanks Nikki for redeeming the guild coins for an advantage. Who would you like to give that to?
It was for the hunt, for the mystery.
Okay.
So I'm not sure who needs it.
We'll do this. I'm gonna grab this and we're gonna just like put it right over here, next to where it says advantage, and that's just gonna be like a party one for this thing. There
Yeah,
we
it
go.
seems like be important. So
All right.
I figured throw some points at it.
And then at the dinner, so we know Ilse is hanging out with her new friends and getting offered just ridiculous amounts of different kinds of foods to try. What about Nadara? What's Nadara doing at the big dinner?
Nadara went to fill up her plate, like, what's it called? Like, when you, like, potluck style. But instead realized that there was, like, an entire turkey on a tray and decided she didn't need her plate, she needed the tray. So she took the tray with the turkey on it, and she is now hiding under a table, eating the turkey all by herself.
I love that. Zadu, what are you up to at the dinner?
Zadu started the meal off kind of slow, but as time went on, he's doing that thing at like a feast where you just try one of every dish. So he's got like he hasn't separated all the food. He just literally just everything's slopped together on a plate so he could try it out. He's trying to get into the spirit of vacationing.
I love it. Okay. How about Jai? What are you doing at the dinner?
Jai is sitting near Kieran and keeping a close eye on Anaka, and is covertly trying to rope Kieran into this detective adventure that we're having tomorrow, but in like a please, oh my god, I do not want to have to be in armor the entire time we're on this trip, and I cannot stop a lightsaber blade with my bare hands out of it.
Kieran seems really kind of listless. A little bit not like herself, really. And just kind of depressed. Almost.
I think once Jai notices that, he pivots to, you know what? You know it would be fun, Kieran. You know it would be really fun.
What, Jai?
We're gonna solve a mystery tomorrow.
A mystery?
Yup.
Okay. What's the mystery?
The mystery of the stolen holocron. There's a thief about. And Jai is gonna like just start selling this. It's just like a final ties. You're cutting the final tie to the Jedi-ness. It's an act of reclaiming and then giving them so that you can just like, you're giving it up. You're giving it to, he's trying so hard to sell this to her.
Does he actually do the voice?
Yeah, he does. It's a mistake, but he absolutely does.
That gets a genuine like giggle out of Kieran. And she feels a little bit better. She's like, all right, that sounds fun. Yeah.
Try this. Zadu just slams down 2 pieces of meat, one in front of Jai, one in front of Kieran.
Jai does not even hesitate. He just like digs in.
Awesome. Kieran does hesitate, but eventually kind of gets into the spirit of things and lightens up a little bit. You can tell like that helped her feel a little bit better. And how about Anaka? Aside from glaring at Kieran all night.
I don't think Anaka spends the whole night there. I think she kind of tries to do some snooping around, see if she can find any clues or any indications or what have you. She's probably not successful, but she doesn't have it in her to sit down and just stay still.
Okay. All right then. I think that's a good spot to wrap up then with the evening's festivities. So from there, the camera will fast forward a little bit, and it'll pan over to this big sort of like I know what the name of this tree, but I'm drawing a blank on it at the moment. It's like a big tree that grows kind of in the water, and the roots form like this like
Willow tree? Or no, not willow. Cypress?
Mandrake? Or no,
mandrake.
Mangrove.
Yeah,
Isn't that
that's it.
cypress? Mandrake.
Mangrove, yeah, it has like lattice work roots that sort of look like it's up on stilts or something like that. Yeah, it's a big tree like that, right on the edge of the water. And there is a thin, again, somewhat feminine-looking figure in a black cloak. It's too dark to see their face or anything, but they've got a shovel, and they're digging a hole. And into it, they drop 2 Jedi holocrons, and then cover it up with the sand. They sort of pat it down with the shovel, and the camera just shows them moving all around the resort, leaving little notes here and there and in various hidden places. And then at the very end, a note's left on the door of the ship on the outside.
So essentially, tune in next week for the Star Wars Whodunit.
Hey, it's not going to be a whodunit until we find out who this is, and then Anaka does it. So
It's not a whodunit. We know who's gonna do it to him.
so who it gonna get done to?
Perhaps,
Oh my god.
perhaps it'll be a scavenger hunt type thing. But yeah, that's where we're gonna end out the session. So yeah, tune in next week to find out what's going on with this, who this person is, and who will find the holocrons first.
Same star time, same wars channel.
Yeah, so we're gonna go on a raid here in just a minute. Before we do, though, I want to let everybody say what their favorite part was, where we can find them next, and anything they'd like to share or plug, and then we'll go on a raid. So we'll go reverse order from how we started. So Par, we'll start with you.
Oh boy, favorite moment. The small conversation between Jai and Anaka after the near trip to Davy Jones's locker, I think, is probably my favorite bit. As well as Jai just so cheesy, but I'm the weight. It's just so good. Really enjoyed it. You can find me on Twitch, Mr. Par, whenever I stream. You can find me on Twitter at Mr. Par4E or Par Professional, where I post if I'm on the show. And you can find me next on Saturday for Animus Violentus, where I play I play Wine Dad.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Oh, I love your character in that game. It's so great. All right. Matt, what was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
Oh boy, I legit loved the stuff between Jai and Anaka there on the fishing trip. Especially that little talk at the end. But honestly, my favorite bit was Ilsa getting to be a beach teen. That was great. That was so good. And like, I kind of hope that the rest of this vacation, we just see so much of Ilsa just hanging with her new girl gang. That's going to be so good. Watching her actually get to be a teen for once is wonderful. You can find me here on Tuesday nights, GMing one half of the Dragon Age campaign. You can find me on my channel, Fifth Draw Live, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings, where we're having just some good times. I have a podcast where me and two friends take a public domain property and give them fresh coats of paint. It's called Hard Reboot. And I have an Etsy shop where I do a bunch of custom prop work, including lightsabers like this beauty, which is one of the options for whoever wins a giveaway that's coming up here on this channel soon.
Awesome.
And
this is also one of Matt's, by the way, that I'm holding up.
And if you follow me on Twitter, you will have seen that I'm working on a Buster sword that has a 5-foot blade because I'm a monster who doesn't know when to stop.
It's as big as I am.
It is. It really is. It's wild. And that's me.
Awesome. Next, let's hop over to Jordan. Tell us, what was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? And anything you want to share or plug?
Honestly, there were a lot of really funny parts in this episode, but I think that my favorite part is the setup for the next episode, just because, like, that's so cool. I love a sneaky, steely. We all know how Nadara feels about that. I am Jordan, aka Sassy with Sander. You can find me at Sassy with Sander on all social media platforms. I dabble in a lot of things, TTRPG being one of them. But my most recent project would be my Etsy shop, Red's Wardrobe, where I make sparkle cloaks for all occasions. And I also do custom designs. So if you're wanting a commission, tweet me.
Awesome. Next, let's hop over to Nikki. What was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
I actually really like getting to play Ilsa not being angsty. I haven't done that in a while. It was a lot of fun. And I liked her dragging Nadara off to the phone because she doesn't really know her that well. So it was fun to just do something with her, even if it was kind of silly photos. And I'm sure this was a turnaround for Ilsa, right? She's gonna just get her head on straight and absolutely nothing else will go wrong for her, right?
Exactly. She just needed a vacation. That's all it was.
Exactly. She's going to be cheerful. No more angstiness, no more blowing up entire fleets of ships. No.
Work-related stress. That's all the problem was. It'll be fine now.
It's fine.
I enjoyed that a lot too.
I am JDPot7575 on places, and I'll try to remember to put a schedule up at some point before the games actually end.
Awesome. And then V, what was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? And anything you want to share or plug?
I think my favorite part was the fact that somehow we always find a place to put a beach episode. First, I didn't expect that to be something that we would do with Animus Absentus, and even less likely in Star Wars, but I'm very glad that we got the chance to do this because it was really fun. But yeah, seeing Ilsa not be angsty for once, don't get me wrong, I absolutely adore angsty Ilsa, but I think she deserves it every once in a while just to, chill and do what she needs to do and have some fun. And she's good. She really deserves that every once in a while. And then I always love all the interactions with Anaka and Jai. I think they're hilarious, and I will never say no to Anaka and Jai scenes. But yeah, you can find me. What's today? Thursday. We'll be back for Violentus on Saturday, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you can catch me there. I play a character called Alice. He is a familiar name from the Absentis campaign. Raven was kind of handling him a little bit for me while I was playing Annie, but now I have the opportunity to actually play him myself, which is super fun, and I'm really pumped about it. And you can find my work online. I do a little bit of digital, little bit of traditional stuff. I have an art Twitter, which is at PepperoJaws. That's Peppero like the candy, and you can check out all my stuff there. But yeah, that's me.
Awesome. Oh goodness, I had a lot of favorite parts from this one. I really enjoyed Jai and Anaka getting into the trouble with the sea creature, and just having to pull all of that out of nowhere on the fly. That was really fun. and discovering like, oh, this creature I pulled up has a modifier of like 22. It's like, that's not gonna work. So yeah, that was really fun. I did quite enjoy that. I really enjoyed getting to see Ilsa drag Nadara into just fun stuff. I hope Ilsa and Nadara have more interactions like that in the future, because that was fun to watch. And yeah, getting to see Ilsa, having fun and not being angsty turn into the dark side stuff. So yeah, it was all great. And then yeah, Zadu having a chance to just sort of chill and meditate and eat a whole bunch of really good food. It's good to see Zadu have a break after everything that he's been through. And I still feel really bad for those two former Imperial techs who are now with Grakus all the time. Oh goodness, they're gonna be such an anxious mess. But yeah, I enjoyed all of it, and the mystery is gonna be really fun next week. I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, I think that's it for that. Where you can find me next will be Saturday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time for Animus Violentus. I'll be GMing that game. It's another sci-fi, if you're not familiar with the Animus universe. It is a post-capitalistic sort of dystopia. It's a little bit of cyberpunk. It's a little bit of, that sort of post-capitalism dystopia type deal. And it's a lot of fun to play in. There's a big war that's broken out between two of the big corporations that rule the galaxy. So everything is kind of chaotic, and our little crew has stolen a police cruiser, essentially, and are hiding out on a planet that's super cyberpunky, at a compound of a cult that one of our characters is the leader of. So it is a trip. It's so much fun. And we've got some really, really interesting characters, so I highly recommend checking it out. Yes, another cult. It's great. I highly recommend checking that out on Saturday. It's going to be a lot of fun. We won't have Dragon Age tomorrow, but it will be back next week at the normal time of noon Mountain Time on Friday. That is the companion game to Matt's on Tuesday, with just a different party. So yeah, that'll be good too. I think that's everything for what's coming up next. Other things to share or plug is just our sponsors again. Let me get that into chat. So that is Fundamental RPG. It is a simple D20 system that's not tied to any genre. It's what we use for Animus, and we've used it for a whole bunch of other games. Starting next month, we're going to be using it for Black Feather Paranormal Investigations, which is, if you've ever played Phasmophobia, it's a lot like that, but it's like a tabletop version of it. essentially. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, go check it out. It's a good tool to add to your tabletop RPG tool belt. You can pick up the physical book at Amazon, or if you prefer digital versions that you can use on your phone or tablet or whatever electronic device you use, you can pick that up at coffee.com/Raven, like it's spelled at the bottom of the screen. Also, Die Hard Dice. They sell incredible metal and polymer dice sets and accessories. Go check their stuff out at dieharddice.com. If you use the code ANIMUS with a capital A, you can get 10% off of your entire order. I highly recommend checking out the Luminous Chrome RPG set. It's a really pretty polymer set with, it's like clear with a bunch of sparkly stuff inside of it. It's a little hard to describe. I'll actually have the set Saturday that I can show everybody on the screen. I just have to unpack it because I just moved. But it's really cool. Go check that out. There's a direct link to that in chat. And then speaking of Animus, I'm just going to plug the server. There's a link there in chat for it. If you are interested in that world, that setting, there is a whole Discord server that has all the information about the various planets and characters and how it all works. Just tons of lore. And the other half of the server is basically a sandbox in that world that you can go roleplay in. You can make a character, roleplay with other folks that have other characters, and tell your own stories in that universe. It's really, really pretty cool. So there's a link to that in chat as well. And I think that's it for me. So we're going to go on a raid. Let me just make sure that they're still going live. Looks like it. We're going to go raid Milady Saito, who's just a fantastic person and streamer. Go give her a follow if you're not doing so already. And then I will see you all on Saturday. Bye, everybody.